Not yet. Okay. No worries. Got the music going. Okay. All right. I can hear the music and a little bit of you. That's it. Okay. Oh, cool. Sure, that's awesome. Sometimes it happens, man. Sometimes it happens.
Hold on. We got this
Ladies
right.
and gentlemen, welcome to Leo's Coast to Coast. And now, broadcasting live by the light of a single swinging bow, deep in an underground bunker.
I'm ready for it. I can't wait.
By a nondescript entrance somewhere in rural Oregon. Don't even try to find him. Don't even try. Here's Larry with this week's guest.
Hello, everybody. We've got everything going haywire today, but by gosh, we're live, and that's all that matters at some point. Welcome, Ontario, Canada. Hello there, upstate New York. Welcome, my friends in South Carolina. Hello, California. Welcome, Oregon. Oregon's here. I love Oregon. I live here. Okay. California's here. Welcome, California. Hello to my friends up in upstate New York. We've got some people in Maine, Rhode Island. Yeah, Rhode Island's here. They should be. South Carolina's in the house. Hello, Florida. Welcome, state of Texas. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on to Leo's Coast to Coast show. Welcome to the Hidden Bunker. Al Graves.
Hello.
There he is, live from East Providence, Rhode Island. Welcome to the show. If you have questions for Officer Kyle Graves, please, you can do it two ways. Put the question on screen or the phone number right there at the top. 503-420-4062 is the number to call. We're grateful to have you. Hello, Peoria, Arizona. Welcome, Washington State. Hello, Scarborough, Ontario, Canada. Saskatchewan is here. We have the whole world in our
They're from
hands.
everywhere.
They are. Yeah,
From
they're
everywhere.
everywhere. All right, so we're grateful to have everybody here today. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got questions, hopefully, for Officer Graves. Someone's saying there's no sound from me. Is that right? That can't be possible. I'm hearing.
I can hear you on my end. I hope everyone can hear me
okay.
on your
Yeah,
end.
now they're saying it's good now. Okay, cool.
There we go.
The gremlins have hit. It's because of spring. It's spring.
That's it.
It's spring. Officer Kyle Graves, welcome to the show. It's an honor to have you. We've got live
Thanks for
PD
having
fans from all over North America waiting to ask questions of you. And we are really honored to have you. Can you tell us, how has your life changed in law enforcement since the coronavirus began?
Oh, geez. A lot's changed. We're generally a proactive department, so with everything going on and kind of the uncertainty of how it's transmitted and the lack of testing at this point, we've kind of taken the proactivity and kind of put it aside for a little bit, and we're really just reactive. So, we'll always still respond to emergency calls and people who are in immediate need of assistance. But as far as doing things like minuscule car stops and being proactive like we usually are, it's kind of put on the wayside for a little bit until we can kind of figure this thing out.
Yeah, it's a different world for sure. And
Yeah,
a lot of people are asking questions right now. Jill Bemay, our gold medal moderator from Ontario, Canada, says, what extra precautions are you using right now and your department is using during this difficult time?
Right. So generally, we're taking as many precautions as we can as far as sanitation wise. So in all the cruisers, we've put extra gloves. We're trying to get more N95 masks, Lysol spray, disinfectant wipes. So we kind of have a directive where if we get into our vehicles before and after every shift, we wipe everything down. We kind of Lysol everything, just try to make it somewhat sanitary for the next officer so that we kind of mitigate anybody catching corona. As far as anything on scene, we try to stay in open air. We try to keep our, still social distancing as much as we can within the parameters of still getting the job done. But just trying to do everything we can, because the last thing we want to do is bring it home to our families or our loved ones and just make this thing worse,
Absolutely. The debut of Officer Kyle Graves from East Providence, Rhode Island. We are honored to have you. What a treat. What a treat, man. We're just thrilled to have you. And, during this time in our country, a lot of people are stuck at home. And so they're watching this show right now, and you're on, and you're giving them some distraction from everything that's happening, because we're in a 24-hour news cycle, right?
That's it. So you got Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. Now you got Larry's show on YouTube.
No. This is a distraction. This is nothing more. Officer Graves, what would you want to say to America about the coronavirus right now, and for people to really take care of themselves and do the right thing?
Right. I think everyone needs to just kind of take a breath. Number one, I think there's a lot of unknown, a lot of questions, and people are kind of shooting out these questions left and right. And there may be a lot of misinformation. I think everyone needs to take a step back, listen to the health professionals and their advice on social distancing, hygiene, cleanliness. If you have to stay, in groups of 10 or less, like we are here in Rhode Island, then I would just do it so that this is going as fast as possible. I mean, the longer that this stuff is around, the longer all of this inconvenience is going to be here for us. So I think everyone should relax, and panic isn't going to do us no good. You know what I mean? If you panic, it's not going to benefit you anyway. So just take the advice of our health professionals. That's what they're there for. And hopefully we can get this thing out of here sooner than later.
Amen. Yeah, and follow your leadership, whatever that might be.
Exactly.
I know we have 40 million people in the state of California who are sheltering in place. My father-in-law, one of those people right there, Bill Weinger from Tracy, California, needs to shelter in place. There's 39,999,999 left that still have to shelter in place.
Yeah.
So
we're not quite there yet here in Rhode Island, but we're hoping it doesn't have to get to that. Like I said, if everybody can kind of just listen to the advice by our professionals, we won't have to get to that point. But again, it's the unknown, right?
Exactly. And with our YouTube program that follows this one, which is YouTube with Friends, we're going to talk more about that. The deal that we need to remember, keep the hands washed. Don't touch your face, especially in a shopping like situation or at
Right.
the mail department. If you're at
Yep.
the postal service, if you're, at like FedEx or UPS, just don't touch your face. Wash your
I know, and
hands.
it's tough. It's tough. I catch myself every day, even in my cruiser.
Yes.
We're told at work, don't touch your face. Don't put it anywhere like it's unsanitary. It's tough because you catch yourself, rubbing your forehead or wiping sweat away, and it's like, I forgot
Yes.
I can't do that. So it's tough, but you gotta, especially in this time, you gotta just try to be cognizant of it.
Yeah. For your whole
You know?
life, you've done something a certain way, and then all of a sudden you're
Yep.
supposed to stop. It's
Right.
impossible, right?
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it is. Totally agree. We got tons of questions for you. Tons of
Sure.
questions. We've
Bring them
got
on.
Tennessee in the house. We've got like 3 provinces of Canada. Most of the United
Wow.
States is here. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to our special moderator from Las Vegas, Nevada, Rebecca. Yep.
Happy birthday, Rebecca.
Happy birthday. And my dog Miley's not here. Rebecca, my dog Miley shares your birthday too. She's 9 today. She's my little buddy. All right, let's get to these questions because there are so
Sure.
many on the screen. We'll try and zoom through them as best we can.
All right.
And please understand, I'll do my very best for you, okay? Lee
Sure.
Terry, Middle Tennessee, thank you for your military service. Where were you stationed and deployed during your military time?
So I was stationed here in Rhode Island. I was actually still in high school when my parents had to sign my contract for me to join. And then as soon as I got out of high school, right when I turned 18, my brother was actually in the same unit as and he was getting deployed to Afghanistan. So I actually volunteered to join his unit and go to Afghanistan with him, where we were in Logman Province, Afghanistan. It's right on the Pakistan. If you look at the map, it's on like the Pakistan China border, actually, northeastern Afghanistan. We were there for 12 months, actually.
You did that
So
with your brother?
with my brother, yep. Me and my brother and I, he got deployed. Well, he was getting deployed, and I heard about it, and I was like, I'm not letting you go alone, man. So let me hop on, and that's it. The rest is history.
That is an American story right there, folks. Great stuff. Lee Terry, thanks for that question. That's really a good one. Wow. Good stuff. All right. Jill Bamai, gold medal moderator. How long have you been in law enforcement and what led you become a law enforcement professional?
So I'm actually just approaching my 3rd year. So I haven't been on very long. But I've always had an interest in law enforcement ever since I was a kid. My father's friends, he had a lot of police officer friends, and they would come to the house and give me rides in their car and stuff. And I really looked up to them. So when I became older, it was something that I always pursued. My military service, someone got in the way of that, and I was more focused on that in my early 20s. And then once I got to be about 25, 26 years old, I decided that I would start applying for departments, and East Providence picked me up, and I've been there for, like I said, almost 3 years now.
Live here with Officer Kyle Graves from East Providence, Rhode Island. You have 2 ways to ask him questions. He's been on live PD, folks. 503-420-4062 is the phone number to call. That's 503-420-4062. Or you can keep those questions coming on the screen. We appreciate you doing that as well. Great question here from some folks that are really, kind of in a weird set of circumstances, because Canada hears a lot of the U.S. news, and even though the CBC does a wonderful job, a lot of things just come over from the U.S. And Jill Bamai from Ontario said, have many people been detained or arrested that you've been, a suspect? Have they told you they've had COVID-19 to try and get out of it?
I'm not going to say we've had a lot. We have had cases where people have shown signs or symptoms of COVID-19. And we've taken the precautions directed by our CDC on what we should do with them. On the other hand, I think people have taken advantage of it, and they don't want to go to jail. So they tell us that they have COVID-19 so that we won't arrest them. It doesn't necessarily work that way, but to make a long story short, we have seen it. We haven't seen any confirmed cases as far as our police department coming in contact with a confirmed case of COVID-19.
Good.
And I hope it stays that way.
Amen. Yeah, that's the last thing you want. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Great question from Middle Tennessee. Lee again. She's coming strong today. What are the names of your sphinxes and what are their personalities like?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, she said, what are the names of your sphinxes? I'm not sure what that
my
means.
Sphinxes.
Yeah.
So I have 2 Sphinx cats. I have Mr. Bigglesworth. We call him Biggie for short.
Nice.
He's our older boy, and then we have a younger little girl. Her name's Lily.
So Mr. and Lily. That's cool.
Mr. Biggs.
Mr. Biggs. Mr. Biggs. Very nice. Welcome,
Yep.
Captain Lightning. We're glad to have you join the progress. Thank you. The old program here. Thank you. Donna Smith. Hi, Kyle. I hear a lot of practical jokes going on in your department. Can you let us in on a few of them?
Ooh, I mean, I think you guys have seen some on Twitter, thanks to Inspector Craig Sroka. We like to have fun. I mean, it's a job where there's a lot of stress, and if you don't take light of some situations when you have the opportunity, it's going to get to you. So when we're around, and since we have such a tight-knit group of guys, at least on my shift, everybody gets along with one another. So if we can have that occasional laugh at someone else's expense, we do it. You know, we like to have fun.
Live with Officer Kyle Graves from East Providence, Rhode Island. This is great. This is great stuff. Love it. Cat Plass asks from the state of Texas, what other unit would you like to join maybe someday? K-9 or SWAT? Would you like to go somewhere else or maybe upgrade in rank?
Well, I just got on SWAT. Well, shout out to East Providence SRT.
Hey, studio audience.
Thank you. Yeah, I just got on SWAT, and that's something that I've always wanted to do. I only applied to police departments that had SWAT or SRT teams. So to get on that team was a great honor for me. It also coincides with what I did in the military. So, it's a perfect fit for me. As far as progressing in my career, I would love to do detectives. I guess that would be the next step for me. And just kind of take it one step at a time. That's kind of what I'm focused on now, is just making a good name for myself, number one, in the department, getting noticed as being someone who's reliable and proactive, and then moving my way up when the opportunity arises.
You would be excellent at being a detective.
I hope so.
You really have a way of deducing things and kind of, I guess, making a big situation condensed and just get to the root of the problem. We're going to show a video of you on live.pd. And something that you did, I know you remember it.
I'm sure I do.
Pierce Field in the park area near the slides for a storm drain cover that's been dislodged. Would you?
Temple. We have to go relodge this storm drain. That should be quite the task. These storm drains are actually pretty heavy, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. You seen a storm drain loose around here? Oh.
Yeah, something right around there.
Right over here.
Oh, man.
Yep. Oh, that's not good. 303.
303.
Can we get somebody from Highway out here? There is a giant hole right in the middle of the playground.
I would say
it looks
so.
like the cover was pushed into the bottom of the storm drain.
We've lost 4 6-year-olds down there.
I don't know. Think you can?
What's down there?
No,
We'll need a search and rescue team with the lost children.
Exactly.
I'm gonna have to try to get that cover out of there.
Will I help you?
Think you can?
I guess, yeah.
All right, we'll see. If I can get it out. What's that?
We falling? Lay all the way down there?
Yeah, you see it? See it all right there? Looks like someone pushed it in. Has it been like that since you guys have been here?
I think so.
Really?
No.
No, I'll go in there. I'll go in there. Yep. Hopefully not.
Don't get bit by no alligators. Great line. one-handed. Look at that.
And it's heavy. I think probably weighs 85, 90, 100 pounds. So
Yeah, it's not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that out. It's pretty heavy.
Two little kids go down there.
Nah, nobody go down there. God forbid. I'm telling you, that thing weighs like a small Volkswagen. It's pretty heavy. It's all cast iron. It's pretty heavy.
What if we all just grab the grate and pull it out?
You think we could? Who's my strongest guys?
Him.
I'm gonna guess him. I'm gonna guess him. You think it's strong?
Am I like?
Look at the community policing going on right here. It's wonderful. It really is.
Dev, you think so? You guys think we can MacGyver something? You guys don't even know what MacGyver is? No, probably not.
It's not buried. Oh. You can probably get down a few people.
Look at this.
All right, watch out.
All the kids chipping in.
that's it.
Ready?
Look at this.
Oh! Oh!
JJ.
Look at that.
No, the trick is you put it on diamond and then you turn it in so it doesn't fall.
There you go.
Check it out. There we go.
Look at that. Community teamwork. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right, well, able to get it, get the storm drain back in with a little help from the community. So, job well done.
There you go. Officer Kyle Graves with a crew of people that helped him out. I think that is absolutely outstanding.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
What does it feel like when you are working together like that? Because you really are. I mean, you're doing something very, very special.
Right.
And you're putting together an incredible opportunity for people to see each other, to work together. You're doing teamwork and you're teaching community policing as well. I think that's fantastic. What I just saw there was truly leadership. What does it take to build those relationships within neighborhoods like what you just did?
Yeah. I'm trying to word this correctly. It takes like a little bit of humility, and it takes at least from a police officer standpoint, you need to kind of remember that you're human first, like everybody else. And at that point, if you don't need to be a police officer. You can just be, a guiding hand or a friend of these kids, because they're going to grow up with the experience of even having a bad experience with the police or a good one. So I don't know if that was any of their first experiences with the police. And the last thing I would want to do is, if it was with their first experience, make it a negative one. So, if it was a situation where I thought that they were in any danger, I wouldn't have put that put them in that situation. But they were more than willing, which is rare, to help me out. And so I figured, you know what, if they're willing to help, and it can be a kind of a learning experience for not only them, but for myself, let's go for it.
There you go. I'm live with Officer Kyle Graves from the Rhode Island, East Providence, Rhode Island Police Department. We're honored to have him. Tons of questions kind of poured in. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about that. And I think it's really cool. So many positive things about remembering when that happened and seeing it. Question here, Captain Lightning, what is your favorite music you like to relax or listen to anytime?
Ooh, it kind of depends on either my mood or what I'm doing. So if I'm working out, it's like hard, like heavy metal or, something that's going to pump me up. If I'm just relaxing at home with my wife, I like listening to Motown. We like to cook to Motown.
Nice.
If I'm driving in the car, I like listening to hip hop and rap and stuff like that. So, I don't really have like a certain artist or genre. I just, kind of get into all of it.
Very good. Yeah, I understand that because, at the end of the day, whatever kind of music moves you or motivates you, that's the kind of stuff you do. A lot of people, I love the MacGyver, by the way, the MacGyver comment. That was awesome. That was awesome. It's like, you guys going to want to MacGyver this? You guys know who MacGyver
They all
is?
looked at me like, what is that?
It's like, what's this guy saying?
Yeah.
But together you pulled it out. And I think that's the coolest part of all of it. Really is.
Yeah,
All
it was
right,
awesome.
questions. What do you like to do on your days off from Central California? Northern California.
On my days off. So recently, within like the last 2 or 3 months, I've gotten into jujitsu. So I try to go to the jujitsu gym as much as possible. I like to go work out. I try to work out at least 4 or 5 days a week, whether it be going to the gym and weightlifting, doing a little bit of cardio outside. Again, going to jujitsu is a great workout. And then as much as I can, socialize with friends. Obviously not now, but I like to socialize with friends as much as possible because they all have their own lives, as do I. So when we can all get together, it's kind of a blessing that we can all just hang out, enjoy each other's company, and kind of kick it.
There you go. Yep. And that's important because these guys have a tough job in a tough place. East Providence, Rhode Island, folks, is a tough place to work for police. You have to earn respect, and then you're shown respect typically. Now, that's not always the way it works, but these folks really work hard to do that. So there you go. Cat Blast from the state of Texas. What snacks do you bring on patrol?
What's next for us on patrol? Is that what the question was?
Nope. What snacks? What snack
snacks?
do you like to bring? Yes, sir.
Ooh, that's a good question. I usually don't eat much in the car. Usually what I'll do is I'll just pick up, if I do eat in the car though, it's like trail mix or like almonds or something. Like I try to eat as healthy as possible just because a lot of the time you're just sitting in the car and you're not really moving around. So if you eat unhealthy, you tend to not feel too good, or, kind of just your body isn't really meant to just sit around all the time. And, you have the times where you get out of the car and you're doing work and you're running around after people and stuff. But I try to maintain somewhat of a healthy lifestyle. So anything healthy, trail mix, nuts, almonds, things like that. A lot of water.
Very good. Great answer. Can you find bottled water there in East Providence still?
Oh yeah. It's still there, but again, with everything happening, I'm hoping it doesn't run out too fast. Yeah.
Have you still got toilet paper there?
We still have toilet paper. I never got the toilet paper thing. Did you?
No, you know what? We don't have it here. I swear, we don't have it. And
you don't have toilet paper?
No. And it's
what do you guys
really
do?
sad. My brother really needs it. We have a stockpile that we've already saved up, because we save up like a little bit an extra in the closet, but that reserve is going down and we're getting a little nervous. Yep.
Yeah,
so
no, I haven't seen any toilet paper shortages yet, but that could change, I guess.
Yep, no joke. Lee Terry, have you ever hugged Chico?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't even come close to Chico. Chico looks cute, and he's got a cute name, but he don't get it twisted. He is he's far from it. He's far from it.
There you go. You know what? And Chico's got a job to do. And
that's it. He's got a job. He's a working dog, and he's got a purpose. And when he's at work, he knows he's at work. He's there to do his job. And depending on, when Canine Officer Rainville is around, he's all right. But if he's not around, he doesn't take too kindly to the rest of us.
Well, and there's a lot of canines that are that way. Some are real warm and cuddly and all that, but some are just like, hey, I'm got a job to do. Get out of my way.
That's it.
Yep.
And he's a very good canine. He's very good at what he does, and I think Canine Officer Rainville, does a great job with training him and keeping him that way. And if that's the way it needs to be, so that he's effective at what he does, then so be it.
There you go. We are live with Officer Kyle Graves from East Providence, Rhode Island. Phone number to call in to say hello to him: 503-420-4062. That's 503-420-4062. I know in smart devices it's kind of hard to see it, so bear with me here. Understand. Okay. So another question here. Cat Plass asked from Texas, have you had any interactions with the other Leos from Live PD?
A lot of back and forth on Twitter. I haven't met any personally. I know Craig Sroka has been in studio, and he's met a lot of the hosts and things like that. But it's kind of like social media interaction. I think that's what's great about things like Twitter and Facebook, is you can kind of instantaneously go back and forth with these other people and talk about our experiences on Live PD. So Stu Bishop's one of them. Shout out to Stu Bishop. We like to go back and forth about sports because he's a big Colts fan and I'm a big Patriots fan. So we like to kind of bust each other up on Twitter about it. All in good fun, but it's it's a little back and forth.
Well, you guys, the thing is that you got to remember what people need to understand is that you guys have a tough job to do, and together you can share some stories. You can have a little bit of fun. It's normal fun. It's like what brothers do to each other. It's just the way it is.
Yep. It's kind of pulling at each other's strings, but it's in a good way. We know it's not malicious, and we're not trying to actually make each other feel bad. It's just kind of something to take our minds off of some of the more serious things about our job and kind of have a laugh at each other's expense.
There we go. Live with East Providence, Rhode Island's Pride and Joy. That is Officer Kyle Graves. Hey, when you're from Rhode Island and you work there, you go in the service with your brother, you're a special guy, man. You really are. I'm very proud to have you on. I really mean that. This is an honor.
I appreciate it. It's an honor.
Because I think you're an inspiration to a lot of people out there. And I see it on the screen. Yep. Lee Terry from Middle Tennessee. What's your favorite music to dance to? You've got good moves with your wife. She posted those.
Like I said, so I love the Motown. Motown makes me move. So when we're cooking dinner together, I'm usually dancing and grooving. I like to listen and dance to Motown. It's kind of like all you can really dance to now. The rap music nowadays isn't really like dance music. It's kind of just not my thing. So kick it old school. Just take it back to the old school and start dancing to it. You know what I mean?
Amen. Okay, so what's your favorite Motown? Talk to me a little bit. OJ's,
oh God, like
Temptations.
The Temptations, OJ, like any of that stuff. I mean, what I'll do is I'll go on Spotify, I'll type in just Motown radio, let it sort it out for me, and just take whatever it gives me. I love it.
My wife, when we went down to California last week, she said, "I love your playlist because it's so eclectic. You've got everything from some Christian music on there to old Motown to soul, and it's fun to listen to." And there wasn't one song she said, "Skip it." It was okay. So it was fun. So yeah, I mean, it's, I understand. I love Motown. Always have. Always
love it. Yep.
Kate Marshall asks from upstate New York, what's your favorite place to eat when you're on patrol?
Ooh, my favorite place to eat on patrol. So we have a great spot in East Providence. It's called Naked Foods. They actually do like meal prep stuff. So it's not necessarily dine in, even though you can't eat there. But they customize meal plans for people. And you just can go in, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, wherever your time preference is, and pick up meals. And it's kind of like home cooked stuff. So, like I said earlier, I like to eat healthy as much as I can, and it's easy to eat unhealthy when you're in the car because you're passing, McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's and all this stuff. So, I like to stop at Naked Foods in East Providence. It's right on Warman Ave, like right next to our headquarters. I'll grab like 2 or 3 meals for the night and I'll eat that. It's usually just like stuff you cook at home, chicken, vegetables, potatoes, rice, things like that. But it's all very good. So they do a great job there at Naked Foods.
Very good. Kate also asks, do you have a favorite candy?
Snickers. Snickers is my absolute favorite candy. Reese's is a close second, but Snickers will always be my number one.
Right on. Live with Kyle Graves, Officer Kyle Graves of East Providence, Rhode Island. The new SWAT guy, and we're very proud to have him.
The new SWAT guy.
Donna Smith, what's your favorite stress reducer? What do you do to kind of relieve that stress?
So as I said earlier, like jiu-jitsu, I thought it would be a lot more like stress inducing, but it's a great way to relieve stress. Everyone at the gym is very friendly. I got to give a shout out to Triforce MMA in Pawtucket. Everyone's super friendly. It's like a family there, and you can go there and you can kind of just train and really get your stress out. You leave there feeling great. You're sore, but you're feeling great. Other than that, hang out with my wife, talking to my wife. She's also super cool, super chill. She just, helps me, especially after a long night at work, lets me talk about it and just kind of get everything out.
Kind of get it all released.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I was in youth ministry, one of the things I would talk to my kids about is that, well, not my kids, but the kids God blessed me with was, holding stuff in is like a sponge. You can only hold so much water before it leaks. When you release it, it's kind of squeezing that sponge so you can let it all get out of there. I imagine sometimes
that's a great way to put it, yeah.
It can be very difficult because so many times in your heart you want to do something different, but the law requires you to do this instead. You've got to make a lot of tough decisions on your job. Tell us about
Right.
that decision-making process. Sometimes when your heart says one thing, but your head knows you got to do something else because you're still
Sure.
human.
Yeah, I mean, it can definitely be tough. There's definitely an internal battle sometimes, especially for me. I like to have sympathy for people who may fall on tough times, especially now. I mean, there's a lot of people who are out of work or are just uncertain with how they're going to make a living. So, um, my I guess my way of doing things is I'll follow the law as any officer would. I'll follow the law. If it gives me discretion to maybe give people a break if they deserve it. Again, with respect comes respect. So if I have somebody who maybe just is having a bad day and they even need somebody to talk to, and necessarily they don't need that authoritative figure to tell them like, hey, you got to do this, that, and the other. It's really at the officer's discretion to handle a situation the way that they see fit. I mean, again, we're law enforcement officers. If we have to make an arrest, or if we have to, give a ticket, or if we have to summon somebody, it is what it is. That's what our job is. But I like to see everything from as many angles as I can see them as far as the situation goes, and use my discretion. Usually, our sergeants and our leadership are pretty good about letting us, handle things the way we want to. So it's just by case basis, really.
Very good. Okay, more questions. Kat Plass asks from the state of Texas, have you ever worn the bite suit?
No, and Jay Rainville is trying to get me in the bite suit, and I've only seen videos of Chico and what he does to these brave individuals in the bite suit, and I don't want a part of it right now. Maybe some other day, but not anytime soon.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay. Kate Marshall asked from upstate New York, fairly close to you. She said, if I came there for a visit with my dad one day, she's in a wheelchair, and she wanted to pet some of the canines in your department, would that be something she could do, or is that maybe not a good idea?
Yeah, maybe not a good. Well, so right now we only have Chico.
Okay.
We only have one canine and one canine officer. There's been talks of us getting more because we do utilize him for several things. So if we get other canines who may be a little more friendly, I would say sure, by all means. But Chico's not that one.
Chico's off limits. She also says she also wants to know, is your office there wheelchair accessible? Because she'd maybe like to visit with her father someday.
It is wheelchair accessible. Yep, absolutely. Yep. So if she comes in, she can let us know. And I mean, I know Craig Sroka is always up to hanging out with the fans, as am I, and as is Jay Rainville and anybody else you've seen on the show. We're all pretty friendly guys, other than Chico. He's the only unfriendly guy we have.
Kat Plass, I'm sorry. You're in North Carolina. I've been saying Texas this whole time. Sorry about that. We've got a new viewer here, Craft Beer Diva. Thanks for joining us. What an honor it is to have you. She has a great question. She says, do you prefer the night shift or the day shift?
I prefer, I guess you would call it the evening shift. So our evening shift is 4 p.m. to midnight. That's generally when it's the busiest, and I like to, stay proactive and as busy as we can. So I'll stay on the 4 to 12 shifts as long as they allow me, or, until I move to maybe detectives or anything like that. But I definitely prefer the 4 to midnight shift.
4 to midnight. That's actually a good time too, because if you want to hang out with your family, you could do that. Makes it fun.
Exactly.
Makes it nice.
And it gives me time to go to the gym before work, or go train jiu-jitsu, or, kind of get things done before I go to work. Because after work, when I get home, the last thing I want to do is errands and chores and things. So I kind of get everything done before work. And then when I get home, I can just relax.
I bet. Yep. That would be tough. I would want to get it all done too. Jill Bamai from Ontario, our gold medal moderator, asks, what's the funniest excuse someone's ever given you to get out of a citation?
Oh, the funniest excuse. I think it's funny every time I hear it, and I hear it often, is especially with speeders, is that they have to go to the bathroom. So without getting too graphic with it, they're pretty, I guess, theatrical with the way they tell me that they need to get home fast because they have to go to the bathroom. Usually I take their word for it and just let them be on their way.
Very good. Live with Officer Kyle Graves from East Providence, Rhode Island. We got a phone call for you. Hi, welcome to Leo's Coast to Coast. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Lee from Middle Tennessee. Thanks for being on with us today, Officer Graves.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for
And
having me.
I love your cats. They're gorgeous.
Thank you.
I had a couple questions. What is the funniest joke that Inspector Craig has played on you, and what are, what's one that you've played on some others that you work with?
Oh, great
All right.
question.
So as far as Craig goes, so Craig is he's like the godfather of practical jokes in the station. So I'll never forget when I first got there. I had just gotten off FTO and I was on my own, and we have a big mirror in our locker room, just to make sure you look presentable for when you go on the road. And as I was looking, and I'm sure everybody's seen the thing on Twitter of me fixing my hair. I was fixing my uniform one day, and Craig told me that there's a hidden camera behind the mirror. And my new guy gullible self actually thought that for about a month or two, and I wouldn't go to that mirror anymore because I thought there was a hidden camera behind it. Now that I look back, I'm just thinking, what was I thinking? But he's done that.
That's great. And Lee, you had a second part to your question. What was that?
What's a good joke that officer that he has played on some of the people he works with?
Okay, so
Okay.
maybe something you got somebody back with.
So what I like to do is sometimes when I get out of roll call, if people don't go to their cruisers right away, so we have a roll call, it's just a meeting, kind of an update on the crime in the city. And then after that, we directly go to our cars. We get our cars ready, and then we go patrol on the road. Before some of my buddies will get on the road, I like to go in their car, turn it to the Latin station, and turn the volume all the way up so that when they open their door, it's playing like salsa music for them to get in their car too. They usually get a good laugh out of that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care. That is awesome, man. All of a sudden, they get in their car.
Yep.
Awesome. Oh, my goodness. That's great. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Cat Plass, you're on the front lines for us. Thank you. Jack Barra asks, and hi, Jack. Welcome to the show. Would you want to be a canine handler someday?
Yes and no. The reason yes is I love dogs. The reason no is I'm pretty allergic to dogs. So that's why the cats that I have are hairless cats, because I'm allergic to cats and dogs. So as much as I would love to be a canine, it's probably not a good fit for me, unfortunately.
Very good. Okay. Live with Officer Kyle Graves of East Providence, Rhode Island. Got less than a half hour left here, so get in there. Ask them questions. Craft Beer Diva, she's from East Providence. Better be on your good behavior here.
That's it.
Jill Bamai, I'm from Manitoba. Larry. Okay, sorry. Cat Plass, my son lives in Rhode Island. He works in a hospital. Do you have any calls to hospitals?
So we don't have any hospitals within our city limits of East Providence. The closest hospital we have is Rhode Island Hospital, which is just over the border in Providence. So if there are any calls to if the hospital needs police assistance, they call Providence Police. But we do go there often because we do prisoner transports. For people that we that are in our custody and have medical issues, we'll take them to Rhode Island Hospital for medical treatment, and then they'll be released back to our custody. So we're there often. We just don't. That's not part of our jurisdiction.
All right. Thank you for the answer there. Donna Smith says, any chance we'll see your department back anytime on Live PD? We miss you.
Well, hey, miss you guys too. I mean, I'm not sure. That's kind of above my pay grade and status there in East Providence. There have been talks that we may come back. Whether it's confirmed or not, we don't know. And unfortunately, at this time, with everything going on with the virus, it's kind of like that's like the farthest thing that anybody's worrying about. So
absolutely.
It's sad, but who knows? If they do, that'd be great. If not, then onto a next great department.
Yes, and you've done such a great job. You've inspired a lot of people on that show. You really have. You've done a wonderful job. You're welcome. Jill Bamai, what's the best part for you about being a law enforcement officer, Graves? What do you think has been the most rewarding?
For me, it's my progression in the career. There's so many avenues to progress. Like like I said earlier, I just got on SWAT, and it's something I've always wanted to do, but it's also something that you need to work for. So the job, it gives you avenues that you can progress in, and kind of work towards. It's just, you have to actually prove yourself and work for it. So I like working. I like earning, things that I have to work for, and that job allows me to do it.
Very good. Live with Officer Kyle Graves from East Providence, Rhode Island. Badge number 88. 88. And remember, in East Providence, the longer you're in the department, the lower your number goes. So he's officer number 88. That means he's been there a little while. Bill Weinger asks from Tracy, California, what kind of long guns do you typically carry with you in your cruiser?
So we have M4s in the back of our. If we're riding around in the Explorers, we have M4s in the back along with shotguns. So every cruise that we have, we usually have. Well, we do have 9 cruisers on the road at a time, and then 2 sergeant vehicles. Each one of those 11 vehicles has M4s and shotguns in it. We also do have pepper balls in some of our cars for less lethal. But all of our cars are outfitted with M4s and shotguns.
Very good. Now, question that comes up every show. Congratulations, you now get it. Would you rather be pepper sprayed or tased?
Oh, tased. I would rather be tased 100 times than pepper sprayed.
Every Leo we've had on this show has answered the same exact way and said the same reason. Yep.
And it's just because the taser, I mean, it's only 5 seconds, and it's probably the longest 5 seconds of your life when it happens to you. I have very sensitive eyes. If I get like a little grain of sand in my eye, I'm done for the day. It's terrible. So to get pepper sprayed, that was probably one of the top 3 worst things I've ever done, to be honest with you.
And you know what? Most law enforcement professionals say the same thing. They say, I do not resort to pepper spray because I know what it feels like. And
it's even bad because if we unfortunately have to spray somebody on scene and then they come in our car, that spray ends up spreading to the whole vehicle. So when you're driving, you get it. You kind of get like the residual spray on you. So it's never fun. Taser is quicker. It is more effective because it usually incapacitates people. And in my experience, it's just more effective.
Live with Officer Kyle Graves from East Providence, Rhode Island. He answered the same way everybody else has. I would rather be tased 100 times.
That's it. No pepper spray.
Jill Belay from Canada asks, what are some of your hobbies you like to do? We talked about jiu-jitsu and things like that. So we've kind of been over that ground, Jill. But, do you have any other hobbies you like to do? Like to maybe go to the beach, maybe do other stuff there?
Yeah, so in the wintertime, I love snowboarding. My family has a condo up in New Hampshire, so we try to go up there, as often as we can. And I snowboard, my wife skis. I have 3 sisters who all ski. My brother snowboards, my mom skis, my stepdad skis. So we're kind of a big skiing family in the wintertime. In the summertime, I just like to be outside. It doesn't necessarily have to be the beach. I like going on hikes. I'm sitting in my car now looking at my house, but there's a nice patch of woods behind my house with hiking trails. I like to do that with my wife and just be outside because Rhode Island in the summertime is beautiful,
Absolutely. It's a beautiful state. If you've ever had a chance, from what I've understood, Rhode Island is just absolutely gorgeous. So
it is. It's great.
It's one of our country's hidden gems. Another question comes from Canada. Where's your favorite place to vacation, Officer Graves?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's tough. I've had the fortune of going to many places in this world. I just went to Hawaii for my honeymoon last May, and that was gorgeous. It was way better than I thought it would be. So Hawaii was great. It's just from Rhode Island. It's so far away. So my mother-in-law lives in South Carolina in Myrtle Beach. We love to go to Myrtle Beach. I have family in Orlando, Florida. We love going there. I have family in Ohio and Columbus. We've gone there several times. So preferably anywhere warm, but.
Amen. Now, what island did you go to on your honeymoon?
So we started out in Oahu, and then we went to Kauai, and then we ended in Maui.
Oh, you saw the 3 good islands, man.
We went hopping around. It was great.
Which island did you like the best?
I loved Maui the best. Maui kind of had the happy medium of, restaurants and bars and nightlife, and then also had the beauty of, being able to go on hikes. Like Hawaii was beautiful as far as rainforest and hiking and things like that. And then Oahu was kind of more like touristy and more like fast paced. So
Yep.
yeah, exactly. So Maui for me was like that great happy medium where it was great food. Everyone was like friendly, great beaches. It was unbelievable.
Maui no Ko'oi. Yeah, that is the good stuff. In Hawaiian, that means Maui is the best. There you go.
It really is.
All right. Lee Terry asks, has Sergeant Pendo ever gotten you good with a prank?
See, Sergeant Pendo is he's a sneaky guy. He likes to do the little subtle pranks on you and kind of get you. I wouldn't say he's as much of a prankster as Craig. I don't think anybody's as much of a prankster as Craig is, but Sergeant Pendo has a good sense of humor, and he's known for a good one or two.
Very good. Jack Barra, any weird animal encounters in your law enforcement career?
Any weird animal encounters? I'm sure I have. Actually, I know I have. There's a house that we've gone to several times, and they are snake enthusiasts. So when you go in there, they have like 10 or 12 different snakes all in these cages, and I'm not afraid of snakes. I just think it's strange, for lack of a better word, I guess.
No.
Yep.
Did you know? Can I give you a little hint on Inspector Sroka?
Please. Oh, please do. Any information on Inspector Sroka you have that I don't, I would love.
He's a nice guy. There you go. I can't do that because he's a good guy. You know what? He's
probably watching right now. He told me he was going to be watching. I'm surprised he hasn't called in yet. Come on, Craig. Let's go. Get on it.
Do you know what? He's terrified of snakes. And I am too. Bill Burt from Missoula. A lot of us just are freaked out by snakes. It's just one of those weirdo things, And we have that question already about, are you more afraid of spiders or, those type of animals, insects, or are you more afraid of snakes? Spiders?
No, I can't do spiders. Snakes, like I said, snakes don't really bother me. I don't know what it is. I just, if I see a spider, nope, all set.
Tell us one of the funniest things you've ever seen in law enforcement. Something that really just made you kind of go away from the scene, chuckle to yourself.
Oh boy, I think it's not really just like an event, but it's kind of how sometimes people act. Sometimes people thrive on the attention. So when law enforcement is there and they have more sets of eyes to watch them in their antics.
Yeah.
It's kind of that when people react somehow how they do. Those are the funniest ones.
I understand. Yeah. I have some family members like that. Anyway,
so do I.
I've got it. We can hook them
Maybe
all
we're
up,
related.
make them a party. It could be just like, the fun and dysfunctional. Okay. So
it's A&E's new reality show.
That's, it'd work. We call it the Weird Family. All right. Next question we have for you. If you could spend maybe a day with a few people from Live PD just to hang out, who would you like to hang out with and why?
Well, just because I've had interactions with him and I know that he kind of has the same, sense of humor and stuff. I would love to hang out with Stu Bishop. I think him and I would get along great. Along with Charlie. I know Charlie, him and Charlie are obviously best friends over there. So I think those two, along with some of the guys on my shift, like my best friends, Mike Sullivan and Chris Cooney, they're, they remind me, Stu and Charlie remind me of me, Chris, and Sully. So I think those guys, if they came here, if we all went there, that'd be a time.
That would be. They're kind of like Laurel and Hardy in a way. Stu's the straight guy. Charlie is the little, the funny guy. But Stu's not afraid to put him in his place if he's got to. I love those two. They were here a couple of weeks ago. 3 weeks, I guess. And YouTube has been broken ever since. I don't know
I can imagine.
Yeah, it just doesn't work anymore. We haven't been able to make the thing work.
All
right.
It would almost be like Craig and I on here. You know what I mean? Craig and I can have the back and forth. And it's, in these provinces, a lot of good relationships, a lot of good friendships. So.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reach out to Inspector Sroka right now.
Call him up. He said he would call. I'm surprised he hasn't yet.
Hold on a second. Let's see what we can do here. Hold on. We'll surprise him. See if he answers the phone. Let's just see. We'll surprise him because he's not watching. He's not on the watch list right now.
Shame on him.
Probably going to get his voicemail. Hang on.
He may be working. Oh, woman.
I can't come to the phone right now.
Oh, no.
Jeez. Hey, buddy.
Please record your message.
Yeah, okay. I know. Yeah, okay. We'll just do it later. I'll just tell him, hey, what should we do? Let's do Kyle's on.
Oh, he knows. He knows. He needs to get on here.
No call. I'm gonna just say no call. We'll see what he does about that. Okay, so, what's your favorite holiday? Another question's come in.
Ooh, my favorite holiday. I love Christmas. I've always loved Christmas. Ever since I was a kid, I still get like that, early morning Christmas feeling when we wake up. But now that my family has grown, my brother has 2 young kids. I have 3 stepsisters on my dad. My parents are divorced, so I have a big, sprawling family tree of siblings. So with all the little ones now that we have, I love Thanksgiving because it's like everybody gets together and we just share a good meal and sit and laugh and talk. So I would say Christmas is number 1. Thanksgiving is a close second.
Yeah, me too. I kind of like Thanksgiving because it's kind of the beginning of the holiday season, and you get that great food, football,
exactly,
all that stuff.
Yep. I love it.
It's just a neat time of year. It's a good time for the family to get together,
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
I just think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful holiday. It's a nice come together holiday. Do you have any big things you'd like to tell Live PD Nation regarding the coronavirus that's going on right now? I know we're separated by a lot of miles right now, but there's a lot of things that maybe the public could learn from you. Can you share some things with us?
Ooh, I mean, I would like to give advice. I like to, again, humility. I'm just like everybody else. I'm taking the advice from the health professionals as far as, sanitation, keeping myself and my area clean. If you feel like you have symptoms, like they say, don't go to the hospital because that you could be infecting more people. I would just keep up with the info. Is that Craig?
Do you hear this? Hi, you're on Leo's Coast to Coast with Officer Kyle Graves. Who's this? Who's calling here, please?
Hi, this is Craig Sroka. And
oh my gosh, Craig Sroka? Craig, I'm your biggest fan, Craig.
I never see him because we work different shifts, and I can always ask him a serious question.
Okay.
Oh, Craig, please.
I want to know, how long does it take him to get his hair done? Because it looks awesome, and what product would he suggest?
Oh,
Craig, I am so glad you asked this question, Craig, and thank you. I just want to say first, thank you for your question.
Hi, Officer Graves.
Hi, Inspector Craig. So I get my hair done every 2 to 3 weeks, Craig. I go to my buddy Dom. He's in West Warwick. Shout out to Dom. He did my hair today, Craig. Can you see? It looks nice. Okay. So I get my hair done 2 to 3 weeks. Keep it within regs. And what I do is it takes a good minute 30, maybe minute 45 to put it back. Because Craig, when you have hair, it takes time. It takes time. Craig.
Oh,
so,
ouch.
So I go back. I use an axe. I use an axe molding wax. I put it in there. Good minute 30, minute 45, and we look like this. Look at this.
Finally, it's a good one.
Oh, I have tears in my eyes right now. I swear to you, I do. This is great. Inspector Sroka told me he was doing his yard work and he forgot you were on, so he literally ran to the phone to call you.
I'm glad he did. I'm glad. It's a beautiful day for yard work, Craig.
Thank you. I couldn't hear his answer, though.
Oh, no. What? You couldn't hear my answer, Craig? Craig, I'll show you how to do hair when we get to the state. When I get to the station on Sunday, I'll show you how to do hair.
You hear that? He said he'll show you how to do hair when he gets to the station on Sunday.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait. And we literally never see each other because we work opposite shifts.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I have to talk to him. I feel honored. Thank you, Officer Graves.
Craig, you're an inspiration to me, and I can't wait to see you.
I gotta say, Larry, we have an awesome relationship working, everybody, and
We
he's
do.
one of the good ones.
Well, I owe it to you. Thank you for getting us Officer Graves. This has been an absolute honor and treat. He's a great guy. Love this guy.
It won't be the last time you see him.
Well, we've already had requests for the Officer Graves Inspector Sroka show, so we've already had a request for both of you at the same time.
Larry, I thought I was a ball buster. No, he has his own little crew that's worse than me, and they gang on me sometimes. But it's all
Well,
good.
Craig, I was just telling him about Chris Cooney, and I know that you've known Chris Cooney forever, and he's another one of the guys.
He's been on live PD a couple times, and he's awesome. He's another pretty boy like Kyle. And,
Inspector Sroka.
I can't hang with those guys anymore. I'm not young and as good looking as them, so I can't be hanging with them anymore.
We'll teach you, Craig. We'll teach you. It's a perishable skill.
It's a perishable skill.
Talking to you, Officer Graves. I will see you soon.
All right.
Inspector,
Thanks,
thank you, sir.
Thanks, Inspector Sroka. God bless you, brother.
Larry. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Craig.
It's one of the funniest calls we ever had here. I just don't know where to go with the show at this point. That's absolutely hilarious.
That's it. We're gonna have to get Craig and I on now.
Oh, it's gonna be the what is it, Sroka Graves show. It's awesome. Oh,
It's gonna be unbelievable.
Terry asks, let's try and get some sort of order here. Who've been the biggest inspirations in your life?
Great inspirations in my life. I would have to start with my grandfather. My grandfather has always just been like a very I don't even know how to explain it. It's just he's always been the role model in my life. When things have gone south, we've had, like I said earlier, my parents are divorced, so we've had rough times in my childhood, and he's always been the one to kind of walk me through. Just grab my hand and walk me through the tough times. So my grandfather has been a big inspiration and help for me.
That's really cool.
Other than that, a lot of guys I served with, who I'm still in contact with, they're like my brothers, and they've also been very helpful and supportive. So there's a lot. I have a lot of support, and it's great to have. I'm very thankful for it.
We have a lot in common there. I believe the same thing there. My grandfather was really my inspiration in life. He was my father. I mean, I didn't have a dad growing up, but my grandfather taught me with a 6th grade education, essentially, about the basics of life. And he knew more than so many people I know who are fully college educated. He just had a view of life that was so smart. It really was.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Old school stuff. Yeah. And that's
I wish there was more of it.
I do too. I really do. I miss the older generation because of their leadership, their confidence, their knowledge of knowing that we can make it through tough times together.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to take sacrifice. You have to not get stuff, but it's going to be okay. At the end, you'll be stronger for it. So we're going to let you go here, my friend. You've been in that car a long time. Could you leave Live PD Nation with some words of wisdom that you'd like to share with them? This has been such an honor to have you. I have enjoyed this so much, and I know they have.
It's been an honor for me too. I appreciate you having me on. For everybody, just day by day, especially with everything going on, day by day for now, day by day. But love each other, respect each other. Always want better for yourself and your neighbor. So if I can make one positive, if I or yourself can make one positive impact on somebody, then you're doing good work, and keep it going.
Very good. We have been honored and blessed today to have Officer Kyle Graves from East Providence, Rhode Island, one of the funniest and best shows we've ever had right there. Folks, this one is the one you tell your friends to watch, guaranteed. Officer Graves, thank you very much. Wow. I'm
Thanks.
still just.
Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it, buddy.
I have tears in my eyes still. This is absolutely hilarious. Join us next week on Leo's Coast to Coast show. We have Lieutenant Mark Luera from Williamson County, Texas. We want to thank the East Providence, Rhode Island Police Department for bringing us Kyle Graves. We are so honored to have him, and we thank you for your time for sitting in that car so long. Thank you very much, sir.
See you guys.
All right. God bless you, everybody. See you next week. In fact, I'll see you in about, we'll say 45 minutes, so give me a chance to walk. We'll do the YouTube with Friends show, #1 on YouTube with Friends on YouTube. Join us. If you need the link, it's on my Twitter and Facebook accounts. Until next time, be good people. God bless you. See you next week with start over again. See you next week with Lieutenant Mark Luera. Goodness sakes, I need notes. Bye, everybody. God bless y'all. Be good people.
Take care.